It's time for the semi-finals. It's at the spiritual home of Indian cricket, the Wankhede Stadium, the iconic stadium where India became champions of the world exactly 12 years ago when Dhoni finished it off in style. It's a team that's won 9 in a row versus a team that's been finalists in the last 2 World Cups. Two-time champions India versus the always dangerous New Zealand are up for a battle to remember in that first semi-final. Cricbuzz live, it is Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan in the house. Some people reckon there is a touch of nervous energy in the air in India.
Well, the nervous energy is good. Usually, if you're part of the team playing a big game, the nervous energy should help you perform better. It's just that how quickly you get out of those nerves is something which matters. Once the game starts, leading up to that, you'll have butterflies in your stomach, you'll have excitement, you'll have pressure, everything, you name it, everything is all happening. But once the game starts, then the game takes over.
Yeah.
And then the team which deals with that pressure, that surrounding, that nervous energy usually excels.
Parthiv Patel has had to bring out the actor in him on his flight to Mumbai. He's had to pretend to be sleepy to avoid such questions from everybody around.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real question, isn't it? Everyone's asking, whoever's played cricket, wherever we've gone, what do you think? What will India win or not? That's a usual question. And everyone is expecting India win, especially the way India has played. And like Zach said, and like you mentioned, there's always been a nervous energy before big semi-final. That is the reason why everyone's asking whether India will win this or not.
Zach, 9 in a row for India. More of the same that India has done in the last 9? Or do teams tend to press the reset button? You've been in a semi-final, World Cup semi-final twice. This is what India has done. Massive wins, hardly any spot of bother in those 9 games, barring maybe the first game where India were down a couple very early. More of the same, or do you say, let's have a clean slate, press the reset button, it's a semi-final, it's different?
Well, this should give you a lot of confidence. There's no doubt about that. You see, there is only green there. But also in a tournament like World Cup, we've been talking about it when the World Cup started, right? When you get to the semis, how you've gotten there is irrelevant. You'll see teams stumble upon getting to the semis and then having 2 good days is going to give you the cup. On the other hand, you'll have a team which has won all the games. So every team in this top 4 right now, which are going to be fighting for the cup, they've had their own journeys. And they've had own issues to address, own processes to go back to. So it doesn't matter. I think, what matters is how you are ready for this particular day. All you've been doing all year round, or maybe for some teams before that, it all has to count today. That's why the importance of semis, that's why the pressure, that's why this whole nervous energy which you're talking about, because whatever you've been doing all year round, it's just going to matter today, whether you're going to live up to the expectations, whether you're going to live up to the processes, whether you're going to live up to the discussions which you've been doing. Everything boils down to today, how you go out there and execute your plans.
Tonight's possibly going to be a good night for India. The roar at the Wankhede Stadium is audible across the country. Why, you ask? India's won the toss and has chosen to bat first.
I mean, that's what you want in a big game, in a pressure game. I think that's a right decision as far as India is concerned. And to me, I think this Wankhede is a bit of a tricky wicket. If you get to the 290, 230, if someone survives those, first 20 overs, then the runs can be chased down. But then, I think runs on the board, that matters the most. I think under pressure, we saw what had happened in 2019 final. It was a low scoring game, just 240 runs. And the pressure get better of Indian side. So I think it is a great toss to win to me. And we've seen pitch, it might turn a bit, that there'll be, and Wankhede pitch has given everything for everyone. Fast ball, there'll be bounce, there'll be a bit of spin. And wicket which has bounce where you can score runs as well. And then India's batting form is great. So I think, the first hurdle has been passed. India has won the toss and decided to bat first. It's a good decision to take.
Zaheer Khan knows every inch of this stadium, every blade of grass there. You won a World Cup there. The word before this semi-final has been that this toss is going to be very, very crucial. It'll have a huge impact on the result. Now that India's won, batting first, how big is this toss for you?
I know everyone have been talking about the toss and the importance of the toss, but for me, from this game, there was not much of importance to the toss. I think it's about just playing 100 overs of good cricket. And when you're looking at this Indian side, they've been covering all their bases. You look at the batting, they've been superb. You look at the bowling, they've been superb. The fielding, they've been superb. So, it doesn't matter what you do first, but also toss. Winning the toss allows you to stick to the plan. So, basically in a discussion you have leading up to the match, you'll say, okay, what is the ideal scenario for us? What should we be doing? Should we bowl first? Should we bat first? And then you say, okay, win the toss, bat first. So that is something which you are making the play. So I think when you're looking at this, it's a good toss to win. In a pressure game, you've seen most of the teams prefer to bat first unless it's the condition-based decision which you make on that particular day. Other than that, if you ask New Zealand also, they would have preferred to bat first. So from that point of view, yes, it's the first box ticked. And you're looking at, okay, Rohit Sharma now saying, this is what I have planned. I'm going to go out there and do it. Everyone in the dressing room will be thinking, okay, this is what we've discussed. Now let's just follow it with the right and positive intent.
One line from Rohit Sharma at the toss could be part of Indian cricket folklore. He said, whatever we do, we need to do well. The other thing he said about the pitch was, looks like a good pitch, looks like it's on the slower side. Works to India's advantage that they won the toss, but there's been too much talk about, oh, not a fresh pitch, it's a used pitch. What's your take on it?
I think it doesn't matter. The pitch is going to be same for both the side. It's not that India is going to play on a different pitch and New Zealand is going to play on a different pitch. Yes, both the team will assess the pitch accordingly. Yes, it is going to be on a slower side. That usually happens when you are playing in Wankhede to start with. And it is not a fresh pitch, but it doesn't matter. As Zach mentioned, it is about playing good cricket. And everyone's talking about the same thing. It's going to be same line. Whatever you have to do, you have to do it well. And stick to your plans, stick to your processes, and go out there with a positive mindset. India's coming into this tournament with 9 wins in a row. So India doesn't have to change anything. They just need to trust that thing that we've reached here by playing very good cricket. Now we have to make sure that we stick to it and don't drift away from our plans.
And they've stuck to the 11 as well. So India have gone into this big semi-final without any changes, Zach. Much as expected. There's a certain certainty, a certain surety, a certain stability about this 11. Why change it?
Obviously, that's the kind of run they've had so far. So, when you're winning, it's the changes which have occurred as the tournament has moved along were forced changes. They were very clear. Tactically also, they were very clear. They started with Ashwin. Then after that, they've not gone back to Ashwin. They started with Shardul because Hardik was also part of it. Hardik got injured. Then those were the only discussions and changes which they've made so far in the playing 11. But they've been winning all the games. So once this playing 11 settled, everyone knew before. No one even had to ask. I'm sure the graphics guy who feeds the playing 11 must have kept the playing 11 ready maybe 2 days in advance.
Yes, cut, copy, paste, and India will look to do that with the result as well. 2 more times in this World Cup, the semi-final and then the final on the 19th. But while New Zealand are a team that have troubled India in the past, India has often spoken about in the recent past about this clarity of roles. And Parthiv, got to say that it didn't start when the World Cup started. Before the Asia Cup as well, much before that, the build-up has told us that India has been looking for clarity of roles. And this is what Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, said. He said, we've backed certain players whom we've given certain roles. We will stand with them. We have to give credit to Rahul Dravid. We'll continue this in the future as well. Role clarity and giving the freedom is so vital.
I think it is very important as far as the role clarity and security. When you are playing at the highest level, when you are playing for India, there is always pressure. There is always pressure to do well because of the amount of talent this country has. Someone doesn't do well, then there is always someone there behind to take their place. So from team's point of view, it is important for a player to give him that secure environment. And Rohit mentioned about Rahul Dravid there because Rohit hasn't played all the games. That's when the coach's role comes into play, what he has been talking to players. So, it's been great to see. And as far as, India's planning process and everything is concerned, we all have been saying that India couldn't have been better prepared for this World Cup, and it showed here. So, all of these things, whatever they had planned, it has come through so far till semi-final.
Zach, very quickly, the fact that they backed KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer when the whole country was questioning the decision to back them, be patient with them, it's paying off now. So credit to Rahul Dravid, Rohit, as well as the chairman Ajit Agarkar, and they seem to be on the same page as well, all of them.
Yeah, it's very important that everyone is on the same page. Then it becomes that much easier for everyone to follow the method which everyone is kind of voting for, and that is something which was very clear.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it leading up to the World Cup as well, as during the Asia Cup, the press conferences which they had, they've been very clear about what is the thinking behind the choices which they are making, and after that it's up to the players. It's up to the players to go out there and execute those plans. When they come off, this is how they look like. So that is what has happened with this team so far. On the hindsight, you always have questions which gets answered in a different way. But when they fall into place, you've seen the kind of journey they've had, the conscious effort which they've been making. Rohit also touched upon the fact that there were some fashion shows also which were happening behind the closed doors, which I'm sure must be very entertaining, but also keeps that dressing room atmosphere very relaxed. You got to enjoy each other's company. You got to enjoy each other's successes, and that is something which was seen in the dressing room. The fielding medals were the highlight for me.
Yeah.
I think that's something which was a slight bit of concern after Asia Cup. The catches were getting dropped, and making that conscious effort of finding a solution to that, where everyone is excited about the thankless job of fielding, is something the credit has to be given to the whole think tank. I'm sure Rahul and Rohit are the faces, and Ajit Agarkar in this scenario is the face of those decision making. But there is a lot goes behind that. Yeah. The decision maker or the supporter to the decision making process are also need to be thanked through this process. And the fielding coach, the batting coach, bowling coach, the sidearm throwers, and the senior players in the setup also contribute to this. So I think everything is looking like a cohesive unit, and that's what winning brings to you.
Yes, it's the vibe, the most intangible aspect in team sport, I suppose. The vibe, the mahal that seems to be in place for the Indian team. What about the opposition? New Zealand have also gone in unchanged. And here's a look at their lineup. Parthiv, safe to say that they're going in with 4 full-time bowlers and 2 part-timers. Is that could that be an area of concern for New Zealand?
It could be, but see, you have to understand that New Zealand had to fight the injury. Matt Henry was their prime bowler; he was bowling really well. Then obviously Kane Williamson was in and out. But see, this team also looks like a balanced side. You have variety in Trent Bolt, you have a pace of Lockie Ferguson, and you have a spinner, a top class spinner. Mitch Santner, to me, I think is someone is probably the best spinner in this World Cup, best finger spinner so far in this World Cup. So they do have that quality in their bowling lineup, and those part-time bowlers also do the job. We've seen Glenn Phillips coming in and taking crucial wickets at crucial times. So they have the quality, and that is the reason why we all are saying this is big semi-final. You're playing against New Zealand. You've done well. They don't go out of their direction. They have their own circle, and they don't go out of that. And that is the reason why New Zealand does really well consistently.
It's their 9th World Cup semi-final. This is an opportunity for them to do perhaps 2 better than they have in the last 2 World Cups. Finalists, runners-up in 2015 and 2019. And New Zealand so far have lost to the top half teams in this World Cup. We will talk about that. But the one man that stands between New Zealand and a win is the Indian captain. Now, Naukri.com, India's #1 job portal, has come up with something they call the Naukri Career Score, which is a brand new, unique way of looking at cricket stats where they use their expertise of growing careers and take a look at where the Indian captain Rohit Sharma finds himself among openers in 2023, just behind Darwin Malan at number 3. Shubman Gill, of course, ruling the roost at number 1 as well. Now, Rohit Sharma, They call him the king of Borivali, Zach. You know Mumbai very well. You have seen
Just because you're from
Borivali.
Borivali.
I haven't used that word, sir. Of course, I take pride in the fact that I come from Borivali. But Rohit Sharma.
I will check with Rohit on that.
Oh, what a story. You know, missing out on being a part of the Indian squad 12 years ago. Here he is, leader of the pack, leading the country, 2 steps away from making history. It's got to matter so much for that man you know very closely.
Well, you look at his body language, you look at his efforts, you look at how he carries himself. All those things are evident. You know, he badly wants the team to do well, and that is something which is very important for a leader to just rub it on each and every individual in that group, which he has been doing fantastically well.
Yeah.
He's been very clear with communication. That's one of his strengths. And the approach which he wanted to change, there is something which he wanted to change as he took up captaincy. So far, also till that point, you'll see that the team was doing so well, and now Rohit coming in, he's looking at things little differently, and in that the difference you've seen the first 10 overs approach changing from this side, Shubman Gill and him. And he's not someone who's going to say that, oh, youngster, you got to be fearless and positive. He's someone who said that, no, I'm going to take that responsibility so that Shubman can take time. And we still achieve what we want to achieve, which is being aggressive in that first 10 overs. So that is something which we've seen. And to manage these numbers along with that is something creditable for him.
Yes, Rohit Sharma, a very different kind of captain as compared to the great captains India that India has had in the past. Now, this guy is a class topper when it comes to win contribution. There are 4 parameters as part of this Naukri career score, Parthiv. And take a look at that. He is top 5 in all those 4 parameters, but number 1 in win contribution.
I think it makes a big difference. If you want to actually look at the example of walking the talk, I think that's Rohit Sharma is that example. He's spoken about, he's been very vocal about the approach, which Zach mentioned, that he wanted to play with a certain strike rate. He wanted to set the tone, and he did that even under pressure. A lot of games, he has made adjustment as far as teams concerned. There were example is England game where India was 40 for 3. He changed gear then. So Rohit Sharma has done whatever he was talking about, and that has allowed everyone else to play the game. They all know how to play. If you are 10 overs 90 for 1, Virat Kohli can come in and take his time and then play deep. So can Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer. So I think obviously Rohit Sharma has done brilliantly well, and that is something, that is the reason why we see that winning contribution is on number 1. Those if you own power play like 10 overs 90, the winning contribution is always going to be on that number 1 side, and that is Rohit Sharma has done that consistently.
Yes, Rohit Sharma's approach in this World Cup tends to unshackle the rest of the batting, and it sort of liberates them to go out and play the big shots. India has won 5 matches chasing, and it just goes to show that Rohit Sharma has been setting the tone beautifully, and may he continue to soar these charts on the Naukri career score. Now then, let's talk about the man that comes in at 5 and has started to build a reputation as a solid finisher. He's got deadly numbers in the death overs. KL Rahul is in elite company among the finishers. 16 innings, 417 runs in the death overs. A crazy strike rate as well, and a boundary percentage that is a great number to envy as well. KL Rahul at 5 just seems like the player that has all kinds of gears. If you're 2-3 down, he can stay. He can go for the big runs as well. How important is he for this lineup?
Well, he's a quality player. And once again, the conscious decision was made about KL Rahul. He's a usually top order batter. 1, 2, 3 is something which is his preferred number. But you made that conscious decision of giving him the gloves.
Yeah.
And then putting that responsibility of getting familiar with the role which he's going to be playing at number 5. Now that journey was not a very straightforward journey. He got injured also in between, so that made it even more difficult. But here the credit has to be given to the management as well, that they persisted with that. The communication again we are talking about here, making sure that you're giving him confidence and you're saying that, okay, take your time, but be ready, and you are a very important member of this team and you're going to play this role. What happens is then the player takes more responsibility, and I think that's why you're seeing these numbers. Because he was very clear, the team needs me, I got to play a certain role. Add to that the timing of the Asia Cup, him getting those runs under his belt leading up to the World Cup. Then when he came into the World Cup, he was very settled. You know, coming out of injury, if you don't have that ideal platform or confidence getting in the tournament, it can make things tricky. In his case, that wasn't the case, and he did fantastically well in that position.
I think that's something which, more than batting also, which we don't usually talk about is his wicket-keeping skills. I think he's been brilliant behind the stumps in this World Cup. We remember take one-handed catch down the leg side, and we saw that Virat Kohli's the first wicket of the World Cup. It's a very, very difficult catch to take. On top of everything, his glove work has been fantastic. Especially keeping in Chennai. Remember that Labuschagn's first catch. So he has made a lot of impact in this World Cup, and on top of everything, the DRS calls. The Rohit's been dependent on KL Rahul, and he said, I trust KL Rahul's decision, and most of the decisions has gone in India's favor. So a lot of credit should be given to the KL Rahul, the way he's been very decisive, whether it's out or not out. He's never said, no, it could be out or it could be not out. He's been very decisive about it, and that comes with the surety of whatever he has done in the last couple of months.
It's so good to see that kind of trust between Rohit Sharma, the captain, and KL Rahul. It augurs really well. You don't see any confusion when that counter is on your screen, 15, 14, whatever it is. A bit more on the batting. Someone who opens, clearly always prefers to open with a brand new ball. The ball comes on a lot better on the bat. And then for a player like that to be asked to bat at 5, what's that adjustment like?
See, there is an adjustment without a doubt. As when you start the game at 0 for 0, you have that chance of playing according to whatever you want to play with. But when you're batting at number 5, you're playing the situation. You're either batting at 40 for 3, or you are batting at 150 or 160 for 3, and you have to carry on that momentum. And KL Rahul has done that in past also. Remember 2019, he was actually designated number 4. He got a couple of hundreds in practice game batting at number 4, and then again he opened. So it's not that he has not done that in past. He has done that in past, and that is the reason why team management can show that trust in KL Rahul, that he is someone who can adjust to different kind of situations, plays spin really well, plays fast bowling really well. So ideally, who's someone who can play both the roles and can accelerate. And we saw the strike rate of 115 last 10 overs. So ideal that when you're looking at the complete package, KL Rahul is that complete number 5 player.
A good player of spin bowling as well, and New Zealand have a premier spinner. They call him Stupendous Sandner. Started the World Cup on a very good note, and much to everyone's pleasant surprise, a finger spinner doing this kind of role was talked about a lot. Take a look at him in the middle overs. Miserly as ever, an economy of 4.76, a terrific strike rate as well, just does not give the runs. Now, the last time India played New Zealand in that league game, Sandner gave away just 37 runs, got the wicket of KL Rahul. How big a factor is Sandner going to be playing at the Wankhede, short boundaries in the first innings? I'm assuming pretty good pitch to batch on as well.
Well, to start with, I have a feeling that he's going to bowl with the new ball today. Yes. That's one tactics which New Zealand will look to use from today's game. How Rohit Sharma have been so far in the tournament. He wants to be aggressive, attacking with that new ball. And what he likes is pace. So I think New Zealand will maybe try Santner at this stage, bowling with the new ball, giving something different, make them use a lot of power. So that is something which is coming to top of my mind. And he's a versatile bowler, bowls with the new ball, bowls in the middle overs. If you give him the back end job also, he will do that. Varies his pace beautifully, got that drift, can contribute with the bat also. So, this is like a complete package. We often speak about all-rounders. I think he's a world-class spinner. There's no doubt about that. But as a cricketer, with adding 3 dimensions, he's an asset to have in the team.
Does India look to just play him out, not take risks, or do India attack him?
I think that's a great call by Zach, to have Mitchell Santner bowling with the new ball. I think India's strength is, going after the fast bowling, and they'll have to do something different. And looking at the World Cup, India's numbers against left-arm spinners are not that great. Looking at the Keshav Maharaj, the India just played him out. But see, Mitchell Santner has that ability to, take the pitch out of the equation. He doesn't need that help from the pitch. He has that ability to, vary his pace, vary his bounce and all all of that he has. He understands who's going after me and who's not. He doesn't even allow left-handers to go after him. But yeah, I think wicket-taking ability, which is something Mitch Santner has, and probably that's something if we see him bowling with the new ball, I think India. I don't think Rohit Sharma is going to see that if Mitchell Santner is coming, I'm going to see him through. I mean, that's something he has not done it, so there is no need of doing it. So I mean, the only thing which India can do right here is the oppositions are going to do a lot of things which they feel that how to rattle Indian batting lineup because they are going all guns blazing. So they have to make a play. They have to do a lot of other things. India doesn't have to do anything else. I think India is going to play the kind of approach which India has used in this World Cup.
Yes, it all augurs well. We're just minutes away from the start of this big semi-final. But the big matchup that's being talked about everywhere is Rohit Sharma versus Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt was struggling at the start of the World Cup. I suppose struggling is a very harsh word, but he was trying to find his rhythm, which he seems to have, Zach, in the last couple of games. Although with that not a great seam coming in, but how have you looked at Bolt settling in the last couple of games? Is he getting into his best?
Yeah, I think so. He's done a decent job. It's not that he was completely off the boil. He's been trying to make that impact. Also, in this World Cup so far, you've seen teams bowling first under the sun. The pitch generally have behaved differently.
Yep.
So, from Trent Bolt's point of view, bowling at Wankhede, obviously he's played quite a lot of cricket here for the franchise. So he knows the conditions.
Yep.
He would have loved to bowl under lights. And under lights, there's always some swing on offer. Because New Zealand is bowling first right now, maybe the Trent Bolt factor, the impact of that will go down a little bit, at least in his head, because there's going to be hot, there might not be swing on offer. So suddenly you are thinking of the options which you will be using as cutters, and you've seen that a lot of variations Trent was using right throughout the tournament. So suddenly his mindset will be there. With a new ball, he'll try to look for that swing. If that swing is not in offer, then he's quickly going to go to his variations.
His numbers do paint a very scary picture in a sense. If you're an India supporter, take a look at him versus India. In ODIs in the first 10, 9 dismissals, a solid economy as well. Not too bad, the average, Parthiv.
Yeah, but these are the numbers in conditions where it has helped him to swing the ball. I think that, as Zach said, playing afternoon in Wankhede pitch where, if it doesn't swing, he's going to quickly, turn to his slower ones. That's when Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill will try and take that advantage of. Yeah, I mean, see, every bowler likes certain teams, and Trent Bolt does like that Indian team. And he has taken a cue out of certain Zaheer Khan of 2011 in the 32, after 33rd over, has been bowling those cutters here at Wankhede, the final 6 over 6 runs. So he might...
Not all the way through.
But he'll start with that 6 over 6 runs just to, start with in a power play that there could be something. Wankhede pitch may not swing or seem as much as it does under lights, but there is always something initially. And he maybe, if he gets it right, he can be a dangerous bowler for New Zealand.
Just the vibe, the mood, the air, is it heavy just minutes before a semi-final? Is it going to be one of those battles where it's about who blinks first, the first 10 overs? What's that feeling like, Zach? Give us an insight into walking into the pitch for a big World Cup semi-final. You've done it twice, sir.
It's exactly how I was talking about at the beginning of this show. It's going to be excitement, it's going to be nervousness, it's that energy, you wanting to go out there, and anxiety is also very high. So all those factors are coming together. So you can imagine the kind of feeling which each and every individual will be having. You look at the crowd also; they are eagerly waiting. People don't want to miss the toss. A lot of people I was talking to, they were like, no, we want to be there right from the toss. They want to experience that. They want to see how players are preparing, what kind of energy they are bringing. Those small cues are always there. You'll see both the teams. Usually, the support staff will be observing the other team.
Yeah.
Which guy is looking in the zone, which guy is looking a little tentative, all those kind of things. But I think the national anthems is going to bring that all those sea of emotions in there just before minutes before the start of the game.
The tension at the Wankhede will be palpable. It is being felt across the country. It is time for the anthems there, but you know Rohit really well. He's very likely to have cracked a silly joke in the huddle just to diffuse the pressure. Just the kind of person he is.
Yeah, he is. It's always been like that. And as Zach mentioned, I've played under him for 3 years. The best thing about Rohit Sharma is he has played a lot of big games. And he has won a lot of big games. We are talking about 5 IPL titles. We are talking about a Champions Trophy winner. So he knows how to win big games. He understands, what it takes to be in that zone in that big game. So I think Rohit Sharma has that, and he's probably do that. I mean, may not be him, it may not be someone else, but yeah, I mean, the Indian team is going to be obviously slightly nervous to start with, but you need someone to crack a joke, or someone to just try and get the atmosphere a bit relaxed.
So far so good. India has won the toss. They've chosen to bat first. Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma are out to bat. He will be the X factor, the captain. What about the joy factor? Before we show you the joy factor of the day, here's an additional piece of trivia. On this day, 34 years ago, Sachin Tendulkar made his debut for India. So may this day, the 15th of November, continue to be auspicious for India as well. Now, for the joy factor question of the day, here we go. Take a look at this. Zaheer Khan took the first ever wicket to fall in a T20 franchise match at the Wankhede Stadium. Who was the batter? I'm not going to go to Zach because I know he knows the answer.
Don't come to me because even I don't know that.
That's
Zach for you.
Yeah, that's Zach.
Okay, so we'll allow Zach to figure it out as well. You guys have a couple of innings. Enjoy the semi-final, the first innings. Parthiv Patel, Zaheer Khan and I will be back with Cricbuzz Live at the end of the innings. But make sure you join us on Cricbuzz box after 15. Good luck, India. Good luck to our experts as well, because I'm going to ask them for a prediction. Big scoring game, sir. 357 average first inning score.
I'll go with 330.
I'm going 310.
I'm going
Semi-final.
351.
Wow.
Lucky number. Ho jai. Goodbye. Join us on Cricbuzz box after 15. Enjoy the game.